postures and body parts you want to mess with? Outside hips? Okay. Okay. All right, let's play around. All right, take a nice seat. Close the eyes. Sit up tall. Lean back that little bit. Feel those sit bones root. And take those few breaths. All right, check in. Sometimes you hear that phrase, turn inward. And what does that mean? It means you do things like listen to yourself breathe, or you set an intention for your class, right? Like, what is it that you want to receive from the practice today? Some of us come because we want to exercise, or we want to rehab an injury, or we want to spend time with our friends, our kula, right? Our yoga family, whatever it is. We want to work on a pose. It's valuable, right? We're going to use that because it's what brought us to the mat. So it's going to help fuel our practice. You always hear in yoga, turn to your breath. Right? What does that mean? Well, it can mean in the simplest form is you just listen to yourself breathe. You move a little bit closer to the breath. The breath, it's easy to get away from us. Right? You don't need to think about your breath. It's going to happen subconsciously. But when you think about it, you're going to be able to use it in different ways. You're going to be able to engage with it. You're going to be able to integrate, connect with it, to support, to open, to expand. And then we start those little refinements through our breath. So from listening to yourself breathe, maybe you go to slow down the beginning of the inhale and push a little more on the end of the exhale. Or maybe you count out the breath. It'll be 2 or 3 seconds for the inhale, so you're going to make the exhale the same 2 or 3 seconds. And we find that balance. Maybe we find Ujjayi breath. Ujjayi breath is meant to bring you, right, to that middle of the hourglass, to right here and right now. Because you let the air rebound off the back of the throat, you pull it even closer to you. Next inhale, let the arms lift. You feel the breath turning to movement. And on the exhale, bring the fingertips and the knuckle pads to root. And the heels of the hands lightly touch. And now the breath goes to that space between our palms. Sit up tall again. Notice, did that upper back round and the chin fall forward? If it did, just sit up tall again. Feel those muscles running up the spine start to activate. And one time together to initiate our practice. Together, the sound of Om. All together, deep breath in. Beautiful, as we softly bow our head to our heart, our head to each other's hearts. Inhale, lift the head, open the eyes, release the hands. All right, let's start out child's pose. So child's pose, our toes are going to touch and our knees are going to be nice and wide to the edges of our mat. Our arms are going to be up overhead. So I look like I'm in this position here. Now I want to root, so here's my sit bones. I'm going to root them down into my heels. So how do I do that? I'm going to push my hands down and forward, and it's going to bring my hips like back towards my heels. And then I'm going to feel those sit bones start to root. Then as you look forward, you can take a look at your fingertips. Your pointer finger should be straight forward or turned out a little bit. Fingers should be spread evenly from there.
Now keep the arms lifting up. So the forearms, they want to fall to the floor is the misalignment. So keep them lifting up. The inner biceps, keep them lifting up. The inner biceps want to fall to the floor. So when you lift the inner biceps up, you should feel something like, it's external rotation, but you should feel like you're rooting the shoulders a little deeper. Then you're going to slide the forehead off the mat. You're going to feel the muscles in the back of the neck and the upper back start to engage, but now soften the chest down towards the mat. And there's that nice opener running up the chest, the arms, the side bodies. And then walk your hands towards the right side of the mat. Root down into that left sit bone and then start to peel up that left side. If you walk that, if you like inhale and breathe nice and tall above the waist and then walk your hands towards the right a little deeper, especially that left hand, you're going to get into that lat a little bit more. For me, that's one of my favorite places to get into. Y'all know I do a few of those lat openers with y'all every class. Inhale, come back to center. Big muscles, powerful, right? But they will create a misalignment for us. Then walk the hands towards the left. And then root down into the sit bone first. Then breathe up above the waist. And then you can walk the hands towards the left a little bit more. But stay active in the back of the neck, in the upper back. Don't let that chin just fall to the floor here. One more breath. Feels good. Inhale, come back to center. Soften down the middle. Next inhale, come up all fours, hands and knees. Hands an inch or two in front of your shoulders, knees an inch or two behind your hips. Start to build it up. So claw the floor and then hug the hands in. Squeeze the muscles in the forearm, so the low arm. Then squeeze the muscles in the upper arm, right? Especially biceps. It's going to keep that elbow joint nice and secure. Make sure the heads of the arm bones are settled in. So like that's too much, but like that's not enough, right? So hit that sweet spot. Charge the legs by sweeping the inner heels out, hugging those shins in. Pull your heels to your butt. Feel the back of the legs engage. Bring the belly to the spine. Bring the shutters to close. Feel the core starting to hit. And then from here, work your oscillating cat-cow. So you're going to inhale, take the hips up, back, and around. You can even look up. Then as they come forward and under, you're going to look towards your belly. We'll go 5 to the right or wherever you started to the left, and then you can go 5 to side 2. Work more through the hips here, though, than like that upper back. If you feel like it's a little weird to look up as the hips go up and back and around, just keep your upper body neutral and just work through the hips. We're really trying to clear that lumbar spine. Now, this is my last one going to my side 1. So when you're ready, go side 2. Couple more here. Stay with the breath. Now, this is my last one. So after this one, I'm going to come to my neutral position, right? That low mountain. Whenever you're ready, we'll meet here. When you're ready, right hand goes behind the head. Inhale is going to take the elbow to the sky. Exhale is going to take it across the body. Inhale is going to take it to the sky. Drive that right knee down into the mat as the elbow goes to the sky. And exhale, take it across. We'll do 5. Now, this is my third one, wherever you're at, right? Stay with your breath. Really working that upper back here, working that nice rotation. Now, this is my last one, so when you're finished with your 5, take that right hand down to the floor, bring the left hand behind the head. As you draw the fingers into the head, push your head back into your fingers. It should feel like you're starting to get a little more feedback in the back of the neck here. So you're getting a better engagement. Take your time. Stay with your breath. It's easy to go faster than the breath. Just keep it slow here. Now this is my last one. When you're on your last one, lower that left hand down. We'll meet back in that low mountain. Take a breath. Step back to plank. And back to downward dog. You could bend the knees on that first dog if you want. You could even pedal the heels a little bit. You can swivel the hips a little bit. Whatever feels good. And then come to a neutral position. So find that flat back. Or like in downward dog, I mean. So the flat back in downward dog is going to happen from hugging in, pushing your hands down and forward, and taking your chest back towards your toenails. That's when you feel the spine really work. Now take the head in the throat back. Don't let the chin hang. Yep. Engage the legs, and then if you want to reach from the hips down the back of the legs, go for it. But don't lose what's happening through the spine here in downward dog. And then inhale, come forward to plank. Back to downward dog. Inhale, drive forward to plank. Back to downward dog. Let's do 5. Go slow here. I use this as an opener for the arms and the shoulders and the chest and the upper back with all the side bodies. As we take those muscles through their full range of motion, right, we're going to get a nice engagement, but we're going to get a nice release. Now, this is my last one. When it's your last one, as you come forward to plank, let the exhale lower, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra, baby cobra. Take 3 nice breaths. Really squeeze those shoulders back and take them down away from your ears. Then after your 3 breaths, lower the chest, push up through plank, back to downward dog. Reach the right leg straight back, step it through, lunge. And then set yourself up here. Use your fingertips and your blocks. Keep the power in the legs. All right, so at any moment that your hands would come off the floor, you're not going to move, right? Everything's going to be nice and solid. Keep pushing down. Start to hug in. As you hug in, you're going to square that left hip forward a little bit more. Then you reach the heel back. You reach the knee forward. Reach up and out of the crown of the head. Exhale, lower your knee. Inhale your arms in front. Plug them in. Take them up overhead.
See, this hip's going to try to go out this way. You got to hug this way. So like you're hugging your left ribs to the inside of your right thigh. That's the sling. Now, if you want to play, breathe up. Now curl back. One more breath. And then exhale the hands down to your blocks. Shift your hips back. Come to runner stretch or baby Hanuman. So runner stretch would be just keeping your knee where it's at, right? Baby Hanuman's be a little more accessible. But some of you are going to, and it feels better for me to just take my knee back just that hair so I get a little more to the top of my knee. If that feels more comfortable for you, do that. It might feel better on the knee. We don't want to just bear the weight into the kneecap. Sometimes it gets a little intense. Now, on your right leg, your kneecap and your toes should be pointing straight up to the sky. So what's the misalignment? It tries to fall out this way. So you're going to hug that big toe mound in. To keep the knee from hyperextending, I'm driving my heel down into the mat. And as I push my heel down, see, it makes my knee bend. So keep that. Now, if you want to get into the back of the leg a little more, you're going to look forward, get nice and tall. Yep. Now, you can even walk your blocks forward a little more, and you can fold to the inside of that right leg. And there's that big opener right down the back of the leg here. One more breath. Look forward, bend into that lead knee. Lift the back knee, downward dog. Nice, y'all. Inhale, come forward to plank. Exhale, lower chaturanga. Inhale, cobra, baby cobra. Take the 3 nice breaths. After the 3 breaths, back to chaturanga or lower your chest. Push up through plank. Back to downward dog.
Reach the left leg straight back. Step it through, lunge. Yep. Remember, balance both sides out. I watch you all work so hard to lift the top of that right thigh up. Soften the left one down and make it easier. Right? If this comes down, this doesn't have to lift up as much. So we can actually make it a little more efficient. Now, as we're pushing down and hugging in, right, and we're reaching back, we're reaching forward, even breathe side to side. Start to feel like the ribs starting to expand out as you take a nice big full breath here in these poses. Complete breath. One more. Then as you lower the back knee, start dragging forward. So pull that knee forward. Yep. The arms come in front. If you need to pause, pause. If you're ready to go up, go up. If you pause, sometimes we just take that second to make sure we're integrated. Yep. Then go ahead and take them up overhead. Then pull those shutters closed. Keep squaring that right hip forward, so it'll be right ribs to the inside of the left thigh. We go up again. Then maybe we start to curl back. Keep going up and back instead of just back and down, so we don't just collapse in that lumbar spine. We work the back bend in that thoracic. One more breath. Then control it as the hands go down to the blocks. I tend to flip them up high, but find where you need to be. And then straighten that front leg. Again, if you need to move that knee back a little bit, go for it if it feels a little bit better. Now engage your leg. So see, even here, my quad's engaged because I'm pulling my kneecap up to my waist. What's the misalignment? Pushing the kneecap to the floor, right? That's going to create that hyperextension in the knee. Keep pulling it up to your waist and feel your quad starting to engage from there. And then our little like to go deeper. We took a nice breath and we maybe even walked the blocks out in front to give us a little bit of support as we fold down the inside of that left leg. But let the chest go first. The chin's going to want to. Don't let it. Let the chest go first. So opposing forces. Slide the throat back to the wall behind you as the chest comes forward like towards your toes. That's work right there. And then as you look forward, bend into the lead knee. Place the hands down. Lift the back knee. Downward dog. Inhale, come forward to plank. Exhale, lower, chaturanga. Inhale, cobra, baby cobra. Take those 3 nice breaths. Last one with the extra hold here. So really work those muscles in the upper back. Then after your 3 breaths, back to chaturanga or lower the chest. Push up through plank. Back to downward dog. Nice, y'all. Look forward, bend your knees, separate jump between your hands, swing your arms up, take a nice big reach. Exhale, hands by the side. Inhale, take them up. Exhale by the side. Inhale, take them up. Let the right hand grab that left wrist, take that little side bend. Root from your hip down into your heel, but peel from your hip up. Take it through that upper trunk, the side body, but out of the crown of the head, up and out of the arms and the fingertips. Inhale, come up. Exhale, hands by the side. Inhale them up. We're going to do 3. Exhale by the side. The rest of your body full on Tadasana. So charge those legs up. Yep. Charge that core up. Everything else is solid. And as the arms come up on that last one, left grabs right wrist. You push down into your right heel, and then you breathe up. Yep. And you go a little bit into that side bend. Then you root down into the heel. You breathe up. And you keep working that pose. Take the head and the throat back. Take the arms back a little deeper. Inhale, come up. Release the hands. Take them out to the side. Exhale, fold into that swan dive. That's the work in the upper back. Inhale, look forward. There's the work in the upper back. Exhale, fold. Now we open that, right? We try to stretch it. It's sometimes tough to stretch your upper back because it's like rounded all day, right? The muscle's already long. So to get them to release, we're going to get a little more of that engagement through them. Then as we take them through their full range of motion, right, we'll get somewhere. You could do that again. You can inhale, look forward. You drag those fingers back to your toes. That's the spine getting long. And then you can fold into pose even a little bit deeper. See if you can lower the block. Some of you are going to take your hands maybe to the floor. Some of you will go palms flat. Whatever your flavor is. And sit back as the knees bend. Swing the arms up. Take a nice big reach. Maybe curl back that little bit. Inhale, come up. Exhale, hands in front. Let your thumbs come to heart center. Let your thumbs flick your heart out. Close your eyes. Take a few breaths here. Full breath in, complete breath out. Tadasana, right? Mountain pose. That's the power. The freedom is us closing our eyes, turning back to the breath, flicking our heart out in front of us. And then gently open the eyes, release the hands. Sit back as the knees bend, swing the arms up, take that big reach. Maybe curl back, feel that peel come up the front body, feel that engagement in the back. Inhale, come up, exhale, fold. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees, place the hands, step the right leg back, lunge. Inhale, come up, Virabhadrasana, one crescent. Yup. Square back into that hip a little bit. Yup. Take that right hand. Go ahead all the way across the body. Bring the hand to the outside of the thigh. Let the left hand meet. Anjali Mudra. Push the hands together. Use that power to now rotate open even further. If you want to extend the arms, go for it. Inhale, come back. Warrior one. Take the breath. Exhale the hands down. Step forward. Keep the knees bent. Reach that left leg back. Reach out of your heel. Get that good extension out of the hip. When you see the knees on top of the ankle and the legs are charged, inhale, come up, Vira one crescent. Yep, square into that right thigh a little bit. Then the left hand's going to reach across so I get nice and tall here. That way we're twisting with space. Then as we push the hands together and the energy runs up the arms into the shoulders and the chest and the upper back, we use that feedback to rotate open. Then if we want to extend the pose even more, we reach the back of that left hand to the outside of the foot and the right hand to the sky. And then inhale, come back to that warrior one. Take the breath. Then exhale the hands down, step forward. Swing the arms up. Sit back chair pose. So my butt's going back. Yep, keep the legs fiery. Keep the knees tracking that second toe. Sit back a little bit deeper. Keep hugging in. Core. Lift those arms. Sit back deeper. Breathe. Push down, rise up. Nice, y'all. Exhale, fold. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, fold. Now stay a little more static, stay a little more dynamic wherever you want to be in your forward fold. So to stay more dynamic, you're going to inhale, look forward, and you're going to exhale, fold. To stay a little more static, you're going to hold the pose a little bit more. It's not a right or wrong, it's just wherever you want to play. One more breath. And then from here, bend the knees, place the hands, step or jump back, downward dog. Move through your vinyasa 3 times. So we're going to flow a little bit here. Stay with your breath. I love the pace. Pace should be pretty slow. Right? We're not getting ahead of our breath. We're staying with it. Our heart rates and our breath are still very controllable. We'll meet back in downward dog. Reach the right leg straight back. Step it through, lunge. Walk the hands to the inside of that right foot, spin the back heel down. Now, root your thigh back like you're sticking your butt back on the left side, like towards that brick wall. Now, climb the elbow to the knee. Yeah, see, we're still holding this space. Bring the arm in front, plug it in. Sweep that bicep along the cheek. For some of us, it's a little easier to go into the pose that way because you're going to root the thigh back and you'll be able to hold it there. Right? Some of us were able to spin and root the thigh as we come up, but this is just a little trick to like really get into that good space. If you're going to go hand down to the block or the floor, go for it. See, now that we root the left thigh back, we can concentrate on opening the right thigh, the inside of the thigh. So it's either sit bone to heel or sweep your heel to the wall with the window and the door, and that knee will peel towards the bricks. One more breath. Inhale, come up to that warrior two. Push the front leg straight. Get nice and tall. Keep the thigh back. Hinge at the hip. Come into triangle. Keep that right side body opening up here. So engage the left. Feel the length happening from your hip to your armpit on that right side. Root the shoulder back. Connect to the core, so belly and shutters. Now rotate open. Maybe even start to play with the balance as you look up. One more breath. Inhale, come up tall. Bend into that lead knee. Warrior two. Spin the hands down to the floor. Spin the back heel up. Downward dog. Move through one vinyasa. Nice, y'all. Stay with your breath. We'll meet back in downward dog. Take a breath. Reach the left leg straight back. Step it through, lunge. Then you're going to walk your hands to the inside of your left foot. You're going to spin your right heel down. You want to be on a balance beam, which means your back heel is in line, your front heel is in line with your back arch. Now climb the elbow to the knee. Yep, bring the arm in front if you need to, plug it in. If you're just ready to come up and sweep it, go for it. Right? Whatever's going to feel good to you. What's your challenge? And then if the hand goes down to the block or the floor, inside the foot's just going to be a little more accessible, maybe a little more therapeutic. And behind the foot's going to be a little more challenging. I like to bring the hand in front of the foot because I like to hug into the back of my arm and then open my knee out from that force feedback. Maybe rotate open. One more breath. Push into that front heel, come up tall into that warrior two. Then push the front leg straight, keep rooting the thigh back. Get tall on the inhale, and hinge at the left side of the hip this time. Keep reaching forward towards your foot. That'll keep opening up that left side body. But squeeze that top side. Yeah, remember, balance it. Then maybe we connect to the core, we start to rotate open. Maybe we start to look up. And we breathe. We settle into this space. One more breath. Then when you push down, come up tall. Yep, and we bend into that lead knee, warrior two. Take that breath. When you're ready, spin the hands down to the floor. Spin the back heel up. Move through one vinyasa. Next inhale, come forward to plank. Keep your hips up. See how my butt is higher than my back just a little bit? Just like natural when I stand. Our butts stick out, right? So we don't want this. This is too low in the hips. Up here. Settle the upper back. This is too much. This is not enough. Keep breathing. Keep pushing down and keep hugging in. You want to play even further? Roll to the outside of the right foot. Stack the left foot on top or in front. Come from plank. Yeah, a little more challenge because the hips aren't as high. Inhale, come back to plank. Take a breath. Roll to the outside. Side 2. Maybe take that arm up. Maybe look up. Stay with it. We only got a few more breaths left. Inhale, come back to plank. Everybody take one more breath. And then bend your knees. Sit back on your heels, Vajrasana. Nice, y'all. Full breath in, complete breath out. If you want a drink or something, grab a drink. See, here's Vajrasana. I do this one because, we're pretty hard on our feet. So this is a way that I can just kind of throw a little therapeutics in there for y'all. Open up the joints in the toes, the arches in the feet. You could go Yana Mudra, is where your thumb and your pointer finger touch. You bring the heel of your hand to the crease of your hip so your fingers drape over your thigh. And you close your eyes. This is probably intense for most of us. Right? For me, it isn't like this isn't intense. It is. It's a little more accessible because I do it a lot, but yeah, it's intense. And then inhale, come up, open the eyes, just wiggle the toes a little bit. This is like stretching. That's why this gets to be intense, right? This is actually flexion of your toes, and this is extension. So this is why it gets kind of intense. Come on, let's do it one more time. Sit back on your heels. Now, see, I'm not doing this where I'm bearing weight down into my feet. I'm trying to go up. So I'm hugging in this way. See how I'm lifting up? Now all of a sudden I got light in my feet. Pull your belly in, pull those shutters closed. Maybe close the eyes. And then inhale, come up, open the eyes, release the hands, wiggle those toes. And then just come down all fours. Take your right leg over your left. Take your feet apart. Reach down to your left sit bone, pull it back and out, then the right. Now we're on the outsides of the hips. All right, we'll start here and then we'll get into the glutes even a little bit more. So sit up nice and tall, root down into those sit bones. It's going to feel like the right side wants to peel up, right? So that's why when you adjust, you turn that thigh and you pull that sit bone out. It should feel like you get lower on that right side. Then sit up nice and tall, and then hinge at the hip crease as you come forward just a little bit. Just like we did before. Throat's going back, chest is coming forward. What's the opposite of that? This. Look, my chest is caved and my chin is forward. I want exactly the opposite. I want to be this way. Yep. But that's one of our misalignments, right? That chin hangs all day long. So of course it wants to go there. Here is like, no, you have to work optimally. But your body don't give a shit about optimal, right? It only cares about the path of least resistance. What's going to be easiest for it? And then inhale, come up, unwind the legs. And then we'll swap side too. You could spend a lifetime doing yoga and moving consciously and being aware of it, and your body's still going to go the path of least resistance, right? Does not matter. It's just looking for easy. Sit back. Pretty intense position for a lot of us, right? I mean, there's a lot happening. Now, if you need to, you always boost up that little bit, give yourself a little more space, right? That'll make the pose a little more accessible. And then sit up tall. Yep. Chest is going to come first. So this is like work right on its own. See, this is going this way, and this is going this way. Yep. So keep looking out in front of you. Like whenever I fold, I never look here because that's going to create this. I look out there. I know I'm not going to get there, right? But I keep looking out there because that's what's going to keep everything nice and tall. You need to even readjust the foundation from here, right? You come up, maybe you notice that the pose is opening a little bit. So you re-root down into that left sit bone again. Then you get tall, yep, and you go in the pose again. Because your body will start to release, right? 20 or 30 seconds in, it's going to give you that release. So you might have to adjust again. And then inhale, come up, unwind those legs. Just come all fours, just reach one leg out. Take a couple breaths here. Lower it down, swap side 2. And lower it down. Spin around to a seated position. So you're going to bend your right knee and bring it to the outside of your hip. And your left leg, you're going to bring your foot either into the crease of your elbow, or you're going to take your right hand underneath your ankle and your left underneath your calf. Make you sit up tall like this. You can see I got a better spine this way, right? This way is going to be a little more challenging through the spine. Push out of the big toe mount and pull the pinky toe side of the foot back. So if you see my ankle, it's in Tadasana as compared to this, the sickle. Right? So I push out of the big toe mount and I pull the pinky toe side of the foot back. Baby cradle. You go side to side that little bit. Then if you want to work Asta Vakrasana, the arm balance we tend to do when we do some twists, this is one of them I do with y'all. You're going to lift the leg up. You're going to take it high up on your arm, almost like to the top. You're not all the way up here, but to the top of the shoulder there. And you're going to squeeze your arm between your leg. Then you're going to place your hands down, just like they would be in downward dog. Here's some core. You're going to take your right ankle over your left, and you're going to take your feet to the outside of your hand. Now you're going to bend both elbows. This is what I always see. The right one's going to be locked out. You got to bend this. Then as I lower down, I'm going to squeeze those thighs together. Asta Vakrasana. Nice, y'all. And then we'll swap side too. Awesome. Yep, sit up nice and tall. Now a little bit of side to side. It's so cold in here. I see you all glistening at 65 degrees in here. You're like, oh, it's so nice, right? It's beautiful. We were just talking about it. Like, you got to almost acclimate yourself to this shit, right? Like, just like anything. Take the leg up. If you want to be, like, okay in the cold, don't sit in front of a space heater all day, right? It's not going to work. That's what my wife does. Take your arm underneath your leg. Shit is, like, right here. Just blasting. Fireplace, she sits right in front of that shit. Then we're going to take left over right, feet to the outside of the hand. Yep. And we squeeze. You know me, I go in the ocean in the winter, right? So like, I try not to get too hot. I try to like hold, but I'm a cold person, right? I want to be hot. But you're just going to set yourself up for failure. How was that? Pretty good? Come on, let's do another one. Spin around, all fours. Take a couple breaths. Step back to plank. Work through one vinyasa. And when you're ready, from downward dog, reach the right leg straight back, step it through, pigeon. Nice and wide with that right knee. And just let that left knee stay in line with the hip. So I do this kind of right away. I showed y'all this trick over the past couple of times we did this pose. You take your hand to your foot. See, when you go into pigeon, you're trying to get this shin as parallel to the front of the mat as possible. Right? That's what's going to make it a little more intense. But it's real hard to kind of move the shin forward, and you got to be careful of the knee. So you want to move back. So if you take your hand to your foot and you push, you can hug in, and then you can move the front knee back. Then you can hug back in, and then I'm going to move the back knee back. I do this right when I come into my pose. Then if I open up a little bit, I might do it again. But I do that right away. Then if you want, hug in from the pelvic floor, pull up, belly, shudders, that's when you're going to get tall, and then maybe go into the fold. But same thing here. Throat, back of the throat's going to the ceiling as the chest is settling towards the floor. Because what does that chin want to do? It wants to go to the floor, so don't let it. Yep. And then let's say you're feeling like you just got a nice opener in the back of the hip. So maybe you come up that little bit, you put your hand on the foot, right? You hug in, you lift the knee up a little bit, move it back, you hug back in, and you move the back knee back. So you extend the pose a little bit further. Yeah, nice poses, y'all. Now we're really in the back of that hip, down the back of the leg. Getting more, you feel a little more into that like dimple of your butt. And then inhale, come up, place the hands, take a breath. When you're ready, lift the hips, unwind that right leg, take it back to where the ceiling and the wall meet. Come forward, right knee to left elbow, back to where the ceiling and the wall meet. Come forward across the body for the twist. This time as you come forward, kick the leg out to the side. Try to hold it up off the floor. You want to go even further with the leg up, spin to the inside of that left foot. Bring that left arm up to the sky. Keep the leg up. Yes. Inhale, come back to center. Place the hand down. Keep that leg up. Unwind the hip. Reach it back to where the ceiling and the wall meet. Exhale, lower it down. Nice, y'all. Take a breath. Reach the left leg straight back. Step it through. Pigeon side two. That was grounding, right? It felt right. It looked awesome. I watched. It looked great. So see, right away, this would be me getting in my pose, and right away I go like this. And I just move myself back. Now that's me in my practice, right? Find where you need to be. You know, I tend to do this one with y'all too. You watch me do this a lot. Just my thumbs are a little beat up, so sometimes it's hard for me to put any weight in them. So today I'm like this. But you can see how much work I'm doing. I'm doing this forward to keep my upper back. Because like everybody, I want to do this. Does this look like a good look that I want to reinforce? Hell no. Right, I'm trying to get into that neutral position. Couple breaths here. Nice opener in the back of that hip. We've gotten a couple times already too, so getting a nice peel here. And then you're going to inhale, come up, place the hands, take a breath. When you're ready, you're going to lift the hips, unwind that left leg back to where the ceiling and the wall meet. Now come forward, knee to right elbow, back to where the ceiling and the wall meet. Now remember, again, two more. You can keep the outside of the foot on the floor. I gave you that as a different challenge today. Here we go. As you come forward, take the left knee to the right elbow, kick the leg out to the side. See if you can hold the foot up or bring it to the floor. If you want to go even further, keep the leg up, spin to the outside of that right foot or inside of that right foot. Take the right hand to the sky. Yes, one more breath. Inhale, come back. Keep that leg up. Unwind it. Reach it back to where the ceiling and the wall meet. Lower it down. Look forward. Bend your knees. Step or jump between your hands. Swing your arms up. Take a nice big reach. Exhale, hands in front. All right, one more. We'll get a balance in. We got to get a quad stretch in. So we'll do it in balance so we could do 2 for 1, and then we'll hit the wall. So bend your right knee, reach back, grab your ankle, your foot, or your strap. Lean back a little bit so you feel that your left heel gets heavy. Don't worry about pulling your heel to your butt yet. Now go belly button to spine, sit bones to the backs of the knees. Now start to draw that heel towards the sit bone. Breathe. Do it again. Belly to spine, sit bones down, heel towards the sit bone. And then watch the buoying as you release. Swap side 2.
remember, the root and the grounding here is going to be the heel. So lean back. Yep. So your toes can move. And then belly to spine, sit bones to the backs of the knees, and you're already going to feel a stretch. Then you draw the heel to the sit bone, and the stretch gets better. Yep. And then breathe. Maybe adjust it again. Take the pose a little further. One more breath. And then watch the boing as you release. Sit back as the knees bend, swing the arms up, take a nice big reach. Maybe curl back that little bit. Inhale, come up. Exhale, hands in front. Nice, y'all. Grab your mats, find a spine on the wall. We'll go upside down. So, you know, if you don't have the wall to kick up on at home, you can always lay on your mat. Knees will be bent. And then you interlace your hands behind the back of your thigh as the heel goes to the sky. Take a bunch of breaths. And then you can always swap in the side too. If you are in the studio or at home, it's not your day to invert. You're always welcome to go legs up the wall or do a pose that feels good to you. If you want to play, like we talked that word like grounding today. So when you think about like your inversion, right, this might be a day that you maybe keep something else on the ground. So instead of a handstand, you do a headstand, right? Something like that. So think of it that way. It's not like, oh, we're just not going to do a whole bunch of things, right? It's like, no, you got to be able to weave that in, right? So if you're going to stick with me, we'll go all fours, hands and knees, feet are touching the wall. I'll talk you into downward dog and L pose. And then if you want to go on your own, handstand, headstands, tripods, pinches, anything you want to play with, go for it, all right? So if you're going to stick with me, all fours, hands and knees, feet are touching the wall. And we take a couple breaths, right, from that low mountain. When we're ready, we step one foot up the wall. We check in, we feel good, we step the second foot up the wall. Yeah. Now, root here, right? Like anything. The further you move up and away, the more you're going to have to root. So keep pushing down into those fingertips and those knuckle pads. Keep pushing down into the mat so you keep lifting up towards the sky. Nice, y'all. Yeah. And stay with your breath. Nice, y'all. These are great. Awesome, crew. We'll be here maybe another 30 seconds or so. And then let's get ready to meet on our backs. So as always, right, you can take the block for supported bridge. I worked this with y'all, I think, last week. So what we did was we took the block. Most of you tend to go medium and low, but some of you go high, right? So you're going to take the block to your sacrum. So where your crack is going to be too low, and where your lumbar spine is going to be too high. You want that solid block on the back of the pelvis. See, then from here, I could take the shoulders under nice and deep, right? I got a real good back bend because I got the support here, right? I'm able to hold this foundation a little bit easier. Now, if you want to do bridge and wheel, I'm going to talk you into that, but always something for everyone, right? Wherever you want to play. So now, if you're in supported bridge, stay there. If you're going to work bridge from the floor, you're laying flat back.
Your knees are bent, your feet are on the floor, and you're feeling your heels with your fingertips. That's to get your knees to stack up on top of your ankles. Sacrum is flat, so what's the path of least resistance? The belly's going to try to go to the sky. So you're going to pull the belly button to the spine, and you're going to feel the sacrum root to the floor. You're going to take the shoulders back a little bit more. You could even robot the arms here for a little more support. Then with the head and the shoulders back, charge the legs, the core, and then slowly lift the hips. You hear me tell you all the time, y'all are strong. So if you go up too fast, you're going to over-engage those glutes, and they're going to hammer your hips to the sky, and they're going to make your knees splay out. That's the exact opposite. We're trying to still keep the slightest little crease in the hip right here. We're going to work the back bend under the shoulder blades. Now that crease in the hip is going to keep our low back safe, so we're going to keep working the belly button to the spine and the sit bones to the backs of the knees. And we're going to keep the knees working towards one another, not further away. One more breath. Then stay engaged as you lower down. See if you get that sacrum to land flat. So belly button to spine, sit bones towards like your heels. And as you lower down, take the feet wide, let the knees touch. Bring one hand on your heart and one hand on your low belly. And then go back to the breath. Even as we're about to flip things upside down, right? We pause in between. We reground, we recheck in, right? And then we're going to go again. This part of the practice is intense because we are literally flipping things the other way, from inversions to back bends. And then inhale, open the knees, reset the feet, bring the arms along the sides. I love this point of class because of that, right? We are flipping things. Now, charge it up. When you're ready, slowly lift the hips. Now, some of you are going to stay here. Stay here. If you want to go into wheel, you place your hands wide to the edges of your mat. You turn the hands out. And then you plug those shoulders back. When you're ready, you push down and come up. When you're ready, lower down. Take the feet wide. Let the knees touch. If your right hand was on your heart, left hand on your heart, opposite hand on your belly as the knees touch. Take a couple breaths here. And then open the knees and windshield wiper side to side. Next time the knees fall to the right, let them settle there. Pull the left heel to the left sit bone for the lateral quad stretch. If you're going to take the ankle over the knee, feel free. Just make sure your belly's in and your shutters are closed and you're persuading the knee forward. The common tendency is that we try to persuade the knee down to the floor, and that's going to be kind of a misalignment. Persuade the knee forward, and you'll feel this stretch come off the hip bone down the quad on the outside of the leg. As compared to cranking your knee to the floor and it feeling like your left hip is going to fly to the sky. And then release the ankle. Inhale back to center. Let the knees fall to the left. I'll talk you through that again. So you're going to pull your heel towards your sit bone. You're going to keep your belly button in and your shutters closed. Then if the ankle goes above the knee, we're in a really good position now because we're safe. We're neutral. We're holding that space in the pelvis. Then persuade the knee forward, and you should feel the fibers stretching from the hip, from that like hip bone right here, as compared to driving the hip up towards the sky. And then release the ankle if it's there. Inhale, come back to center, take the legs out straight. Reach the arms up overhead, take a nice big stretch. Inhale your knees to your chest, let your knees fall to the right. Inhale, come back to center. Let them settle to the left. Keep that right shoulder down. Inhale, come back to center. Take those legs out straight. Reach the arms up overhead. Take that stretch one more time here. Spread the fingers, spread the toes. When you're ready, hug those knees to your chest. Take those knees nice and wide. Come to happy baby. Those knees nice and wide so we get to the back of the hip one more time as we draw the knees towards our ears. We get to the inside of the thighs here. And you can reach one leg out, both legs out, whatever feels good. And when you're ready, inhale the knees to center. Exhale the legs out straight. We'll take Shavasana. Beautiful practice, crew. Feel free to add or remove layers or props. I'm going to talk everyone through laying flat. Whatever feels good to you. And here as we lay back, we let the legs stretch out and the feet gently roll open. We let the arms come along the sides. The shoulders settle back. As the head rests back, maybe the eyes close and the tongue softens from the roof of the mouth. Because here our goal is to let the body get heavy. For us today, we settle. We go back to where we started. Close to the mat. Close to the earth. Feeling the support underneath you as you let the body go and get heavier, as you let the mind soften and lighten back to the breath, as you let the heart open. It's from Shavasana that we're going to wake a better version of ourselves, ready for the next challenge. Just like we do on the mat, in the practice of life. We take a breath, we set a foundation, we engage, we express the best that we have in that moment. Is that moment always going to be perfect? No. But we're going to try our best. And if we need to, we're going to take another breath. Because with each breath will be a new opportunity, another chance. Begin here to draw in a deeper breath. As the breath washes over the body, it's through the fingers and the toes, the arms and the legs, the crown of the head. We reawaken that better version of ourselves. More in tune, more aware. Maybe the arms and the legs stretch or reach as we start to move in that way that feels good to us. Taking our time, moving slowly, consciously. When you're ready, you can hug your knees to your chest and just roll to the right side. Push your hands down as you come up to a seated position. We'll meet together with our eyes closed and our hands in front of our hearts. One more time to seal in our practice, our time together with our Kula, our yoga family. Together the sound of Om. All together, deep breath in. Beautiful. As we softly bow our head to our hearts, our heads to each other's hearts. For all of that hard work, that determination, that challenge, the love and the support you always give each other, it's to you that I bow. Namaste. Thanks, crew. Good to see everyone. You know, if you have any questions or anything, something feels weird, get me before you go. Home crew, you know, if you need me, hit me up. Maybe I'll see some of y'all tomorrow or Saturday. If not, I'll see you soon. Thanks, crew.